Hello YouTube, welcome to Curious Me channel. This is Shabazz Khan, and in this video we will learn about Angular routing. Okay, so what is routing and why is it important? Well, routing is when you want to visit navigation or visit pages from your application and you don't want to reload the page. Alright, so let me just show you with a simple website. Okay, so this is the website that I have built for the demo purpose of this video, and we will be building this application while going through this tutorial. So I have kept it really simple. So this is we have three navigation buttons. All right, so when I click on each navigation button, you will see that I go the component associated with those navigations get loaded, but this page does not reload. All right, so this is what routing is. It is basically used with single page applications in which you only use a single page to render all your content. All right, so let's just go on and start implementing routing with Angular. All right, so to create our project, let's open our command prompt. So keep in mind I'll be using Angular CLI, and if you don't know how to use Angular CLI, I already have a tutorial. The link is in the description down below. You can check that out from there, and also the link is here. Anyways, let's just start. So now currently I'm on my desktop. Okay, now click ng new, or you can just say n the name of your project. So I'll give route app, and I'll just specify that please add a routing module to this application, and then hit enter. Now after this, it will ask me to choose a default style sheet. So I'll choose CSS, and it will download and create all these stuffs. So it might take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes depending upon your internet connection. Mine is very slow. This might get done in 1 minute if you have a really fast internet connection. So I'll just cut and come back when it's done. All right, so once that installation is done, your screen will look probably like this. And now let's go ahead and open our Visual Studio, and then go ahead and open the folder. All right, so this is the folder structure folder, and inside that app folder you will have all these things required for your single page application. All right, so now you'll notice that this particular project has one additional file, and that is app routing. Now in here, all the things related to routing is predefined for us. All right, and this module has been imported in app module.ts, app routing module. All right, so I think we are pretty much ready to start. Let's go ahead and do some changes, but before that, let me clear something. Let me run this. Okay, so let's go ahead and open our terminal from here, or alternatively you can also use control and the tilde sign. So ng serve will serve this. Now this was the thing that I was using earlier. Let me just adjust it like this. All right, so once the ng serve command completes and you get a message compiled successfully, head over and then type localhost 4200, because that is where the application is served by default. As you can read here, open your browser on http localhost this. Okay, anyway, so this is what the default project looks like. So let's go ahead and trim this down, and for that what I'll do is I'll just go to app component, and I'll just remove all of these from here. So for the timing, let's keep it like that, and just control save. And once you save, you'll see that the compiling starts once again. So let's go ahead and create on our app, click on create a new folder and name it components. Done. Now inside components, right click and open in terminal. So this particular folder will open in terminal. Now what I'll do is I'll just write ng gc, that means ng generate component and the name of the component. So my component will be home, and then hit enter. Okay, so I just added two G's I think I'll have to add space, enter. So this will add a home component in our components, and since we are using CLI, this component will all automatically get added in your app module, so you don't have to do anything, and that's what I like about CLI. Similarly, I'll create two more components, namely blog and news. And also one more component, I'll name it page not found or something. Alright, so once those components are added, you will see them here: blog, home, news, and page not found. Alright, let's delete this terminal and back to our project. So okay, let's go ahead and add a navigation in our app component. So this is our app.component.html file. All right, so let me just now add nav blog and news. Okay, so this is our basic app, and you will see that this is what appears here. Let me just add style here quickly so that okay, so this is the style that I just copied and pasted from my demo, and so this is just basic. When you hover over it gets black and the cursor displays as a pointer. Okay, so this is our anchors, and nothing happens when you click on it because we have not defined anything for each of them. All right, okay, so let's just start with our routing. So first and foremost, we have to define our routes. So how do we define our routes? Remember the file that we create that was added for us, app.routing.module.ts. so inside there is a variable called routes. You configure your route inside this. How? Just open this array, create an object, and each object that you create represents your single route. So let's go ahead and see what happens. I'll write path. Okay, so basically path matches your URL. So I'll say path is home. Okay, so this means that whenever there is a home in my path, render this component. What component should I render? Home component. Okay, another thing, so I'll similarly create two more components. Routes. Now I'll add few more routes to handle extra cases. Now what are those extra cases? Path. So first extra case is when path is empty, that is when there is nothing, give me home component, because when the path is localhost 4200 and there is nothing after this slash, just give me the home component. And another condition will be, this is called while characters. So this just a minute, I think I tap. Okay, so here I'm saying that whenever the URL is anything but these, okay, anything but these, take me to page not found component. That's it, simple as that. And our routes are set. We have said that these are the routes. Our Angular knows that okay, when the link will be this, I'll go to this. Whenever the link will be blog, I'll go to blog. So let's go ahead and see /blog. Now you will see, you'll get blog works. Okay, here you will see whenever you type news, you'll see news works. All right, and whenever you'll type nothing, you will go to home, just the way we set it. Okay, so now that we have created these, what we'll have to do it, we will have to link these navigations with these components, right? So whenever you click on home, you go to home, blog, you go to blog, and news, you go to news. So you might be wondering how this homeworks is getting rendered here. So this app component.html has one router outlet. All right, so this router outlet is a directive provided by our Angular router. What it does is it matches your path from this. Okay, and whenever it encounters a valid path, it renders the component associated with that. as a sibling, not inside it. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that out. Right click on this, inspect element, and totally ruined it. Thank you so much, slow PC. Okay, so here you can see that this is the router outlet that we defined, and as a the app home got rendered as a sibling. All right, that's it. So when you click on block, nothing happens because we haven't linked these yet. So let's go ahead and link them. So for linking, we have one directive, we call it route link. Now what this route link does is, it whenever you click on these routes, these, just let me type it first, home, just copy this, let's write here blog and news. Okay, so what this route link is, it redirects, it handles your paths, right? So when you click on home, it will redirect you to home. When you click on blog, okay, it's not working, why? Oh, it's router link, sorry about that. It's router link, not route link. Okay, now this should work. Let me just remove this. Yeah, so you can see home, blog and news, and each time these works. All right, so one more thing, let me go to the styles real quickly. You'll see that there is one active class. All right, so now what I want to tell you is, when you go to app component and you can add another Angular property, is router link active. So what this basically does is, it just, okay, so what it does is, it calculates that which one of these paths is active and adds the class that you have given it to it. In my case, I have given it a class active. So whichever route is active currently, this active class will get associated or get added onto that element or onto that route which is currently active. So currently home is active. When I click on blog becomes active. When I click on news becomes active. So when you inspect this, you'll see that the news component will have a class as active on it, right? And this class, we have defined it in a style sheet, so you can name it whatever you want. All right, now that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what else can be achieved by routing. So next thing we can use by routing is sending parameters. Now how can we send parameters using routes? So let's go to our app routing module, simply /id. That's it, that's all you have to write. So suppose if you want to send the ID of the news, you can use this, or if you want to send a single parameter, you can write like this. If you want to send two parameters, you can write like this, and you can go on like this. All right, but I want to send just a single parameter or two parameters. First let me send topic, and next one let me send ID. Now that we have set this path as news topic ID, let's go to the news component and try to get these parameters from our path. All right, so let's go and write some code to test this new path of ours and see whether this works or not. Let's open this news component.ts and the ng on init lifecycle hook. Let's go ahead. First let me just import private route. So make sure we'll make use of this activated route. Now what activated route is, it will give us access to all the route parameters and query strings if there are any. So now let me define two variables here. Now let's go ahead and use our route dot params map dot subscribe. It's an observable, so it will return, we have to subscribe to it, element. Okay, so let's remove this. Now let's go ahead and add this dot topic equals to element dot get, and the name of the parameter that you have given in the route configuration, that is topic. All right, so the two objects will be topic and id. I mean, the two object properties will be, this error is saying that this is string. So how to convert string into integer in Angular? Bonus tip, just add plus and this will do the job for you. Anyways, so one thing to note here is that you don't have to unsubscribe this. Why? Because once this activated route gets destroyed, the observable is unsubscribed by itself, so you don't have to worry about it. Now this will work fine. Let's go ahead and use these two in our template. So let's go ahead. Container, it's a very handy way to implement ng stiff if or ng repeat. Okay, ng if what topic. So this basically means that if topic is not defined, I mean if topic is defined, then show this container. That's it. Save all these and let's go hunting. Anyways, okay, so you can see that this is loaded. This works, this works, this works. Now what can I do to load these components from news? Simply let's go ahead and start adding up parameters. Let's go to component.html, or what we can do here is we can just pass in 1/1 and it will say the news from topic 1 and id is 1 is this. So what we can say is you can type your own topic from here, is like Game of Thrones, and it will say okay, the news from the topic Game of Thrones and id is this. So that's how you use parameterized routes. But one disadvantage that is associated with parameterized routes is this. Now when I remove this, okay, and hit enter, you will straight away go to page not found. Why? If you know the answer, okay, let me just tell you, it's not that hard. So basically when you define this route in app.route, you have now changed the path of this component. There is no component that is known as only news. Okay, sorry, there is no route that redirects, that checks for path news. The route name, we have changed it to display news with parameters. Now for that, for displaying news as well, we'll have to add another path or another route configuration with the same thing, but we'll change the route according to our needs. So this is how we will handle routing. See, now this news will work. Why? Because we have added that path. Now this is a good thing and also a bad thing. Why? Because if you want 3 parameters, 4 parameters, 5 parameters, then you'll have to keep on adding paths, right? So there is a better way to handle this. If you don't want to keep adding paths to your configuration, you can use query strings. Now let's see how query strings work in Angular routing. Alright, so to use query strings, we will be using our block component. Alright, so let's go ahead and start using our block component. Straightforward. We'll go to the component and okay, before that let's go to app component.html, and in here let us define our our query parameters, how to pass our query parameters to a particular component. All right, now just we'll be using our block component. So let me just go ahead and write here. So basically what query params. Now what I'll do is I'll simply pass an object. Okay, you can create this object in the backend, in the TS file, or you can just simply write it here. So I'm just writing it here for the purpose of showing it to you. Okay, let's go to block, and in here, just like we did in our news component, declare a private route which should be an activated route. Let's go ahead and create variables topic and string. One will be id, let's call that number. Okay, let's go to ng on init, straightforward. Route dot, here you'll see query params map, click on that, dot subscribe, go ahead, element, or you can write params, whatever. This dot topic equals element dot get, and our variable name was topic. Okay, this dot id equals element dot get id. Done. And same thing, this is a number, so I'll have to add a plus, and we are done. Now let's use this in our HTML. Let's go to blog works, remove this, no, let that be there. ng content, ng if there is a topic, then display this container. Topic with id is not available. Save this. Now one thing you'll have to remember is we have not defined any extra route for this. Why? Because we are not passing these as a parameter, rather than we are passing it as a query string. All right, so okay, I think there is an error. Oh my god, yeah, it says that element cannot have content. Oh, sorry, let me tell you what the error is. I should use container. Yes, content is completely different thing, and you cannot use it like that. Yeah, it did. Okay, so let's go to home, let's go to blog, and here you will see that Game of Thrones spoilers with 2 is not available, and that's what we passed. Here you go. Now we got our parameters, right? And we did not have to go ahead and add another route for these, but for news we had to add these routes. All right, so that's that. Yeah, so query string is preferable for some, and for some this path is preferable. It totally depends on your requirement. Both are fine, but if you don't, I just showed you both ways how you can do it, and feel free to use whatever you want or however you are comfortable with. Now let me just go ahead and show one more thing. Yeah, so you can add a parameter like this /1/1. All right, this will work fine. Let me just check it out just in case, works. The same thing can be written in an array format like this. News, so that's the parameter, the path, and these are the parameters. So currently we have configured news to take 2 parameters. Okay, so if we'll send 1, then it will also throw an error because there is no route configuration added to handle 1 parameter. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Home works, blog works, and now news. It also works. Takes 1. Let's go ahead and test things. Yep, things and id is 1. So this works. All right, so till now we just used let me just show you this router link to navigate. All right, what if client come with some out of the ordinary requirement, and for that you need to navigate from inside this file or ts file. All right, so what will you do then? It's very simple. So basically what you will do is we'll use the router class, which is also provided by Angular. So I'll just say private router route. That's it. Now what this route does is it gives us access to the navigation properties. All right, so what we can do is we can simply use, let's just show it to you. So go to link. Okay, now this will be a very simple function. which will not take any parameters for navigate. Okay, just a minute. I think it will be router. Let me just hide this. Okay, so it will ask. Yep. Okay, so now that we have added router, we'll go to route this.router.navigate, and here we will just add the URL where we want to navigate. You can either give an array or you can either give a string. It's totally up to you. So let's go ahead and just give a string. So slash news slash id slash id. What I can do is I can simply go ahead and also take those as a parameter. So for now, let's go ahead and take this topic as a string, id as a string as well, and now go to news link. We can just go ahead and go to news link. So what I'll do is I'll just write dollar string concatenation property and slash, I guess, no, not here, dollar should be added inside the tilde, and here. So instead of 1, what I'll write is I'll write topic, and instead of this 1, what I'll write is id. Yep, I think that should work. And this should get changed to navigate by URL. Yep, now this will take us to news. Okay, and let me just write another parameter, go to blog. Let's remove this link from here, doesn't suit. Okay, go to blog will have the same thing if you want, otherwise it doesn't matter. Let's remove this for reduced complexity. Now let's go ahead this dot router dot navigate, and instead of passing it as a string, what I'll do is I'll pass the parameters as an id. Now what is the URL? Well, the URL is blog. Yeah, take me to blog. What are you saying? Okay, router, done. Now we'll use these two in our so go to home. Sorry, because we are using the block component, so let's type in home. Okay, now let's go ahead and use these two functions in our file template. Blog works. Let's create a button, will be fine, I guess. It doesn't take any parameters. Let's go ahead and write home, and similarly let's create another button. Let's call it news. I think here should be go to news topic from blog. ID will be 23 or whatever. Just save this and let's see what gets loaded here. Okay, so let's go to blog, and you see one is home. Let's click on home, and we are here on home. And I don't know why page not found. Okay. Because we used home with capital H, right? So let me go ahead and change that. Instead of capital H, let's use small h. That should work fine, I guess. Let's go to blog, let's go to home. Yep, home works. Let's go to blog, let's go to news. Yep, from blog, and ID is 23. Exact same thing that we passed. And yep, that's it. So these are all the basic routing things that you need to get started with your application. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and start building an app with routing. And if you find anything missing, or if you find my explanation not up to the mark, please comment on the comment section, and I'll make sure I'll reply each and every comment. And also make sure that you subscribe to this video because I'll be uploading a lazy loading module next week. And that's it. Have a great day. Enjoy. Bye bye.